So, I just made $30 in an hour with Bike Squad, and I don't know why, but I'm still going to Amazon for the $38. I don't know why I'm doing this. Damn it! If I can make $27 in an hour, God, that's almost $60 in two. But for some reason, I don't think it's gonna be that way. I don't know why I feel this way. I guess it's one of those. These are one of those nights. It's the night before Christmas. It's the Christmas Eve, so everybody's, giving their tithing. Man, I hate to miss out. I'm gonna clock out, and I'm gonna see if they'll let me clock back in once I pick up my packages, and just at the end of the night deliver the packages. I don't know. See how that works. I'd hate to miss out. I feel like I'm gonna miss out on $30. Just by going to pick up these packages, I could be missing out on $30. Heading to the river. It's about a 30-minute drive from here. Like I said, I'm gonna more than likely miss out on $30. Going to pick these packages up for $40. So I don't know. I still haven't even earned them. I'm just picking them up. I still have to deliver them, for all I know. So it's going to cost me about $3 or $4 just to get over there. I feel like I might be making a mistake doing this, but I was so wound up in getting a block. I got one, and fuck it, I really got it. Myself injustice by doing this, but sometimes you gotta learn the hard way, I guess. Well, okay, so there's this commercial of as I'm saying this, again, I'm talking to a rock that talks back and driving in a hollow rock with rock. You put rock in the rock and the rock goes, or the rock moves, or whatever. But yeah, so any hoot, all that aside, there is a commercial about FedEx. FedEx is a delivery service, and okay, so you got this delivery service that delivers packages, kind of like Amazon. And in the commercial, they show a FedEx delivery guy or person delivering a package, and the whole scene, the whole commercial is about the delivery guy, delivery person delivering the package. And the commercial doesn't go on, doesn't continue, doesn't work unless the delivery guy makes the delivery, or person makes the delivery. So that's how I feel like when I'm experiencing reality, how I am. There's certain scenarios that play out in my mind, and little do I know. Like I say before, I'm surrounded by eternity, and I've been under the impression that I am as well eternity. I'm surrounding eternity, and eternity is surrounding me. And so, with that being the case, both are endless ends. I guess that's how you put it. Endless ends, or that's the whole point of me talking about this, is because I really don't know how to put it. I really don't know where to go with my ideas. But I think the thing that I feel is, when I feel these things, it's not just me. But at the end of the day, if all the things that is are for eternity, or I guess I just don't have the wording for it. I don't know how to express, and I guess that's the whole point of eternity, is to have all that time to express something that's not something that can be expressed. I guess that's how that works. So, which is maddening, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point of me even having this conversation with the talking rock. It's all just so maddening. You kind of just like lose it all, and that's the point, really. At the end of it, how can you lose something if you don't have it in the first place, or there is no you? You is a euphemism. It doesn't. It's basically the idea that you're supposed to hold on to things and keep them eternally, and as soon as you do, and if you ever do, it's lost forever, or you lose yourself when you lose that thing. But in the same breath, from what I've been told, is that the body completely renews itself, gets rid of every single cell that's in my body at this moment. What my body is will be completely 100% new in 7 years from now. Every single cell, every single inch of me is a whole new thing every 7 years. So, being that you're supposed to hold on to things and remember and relate and all these things and make, these immeasurable decisions that affect the multitude of existence. That's my whole get all, I guess. My whole get up and go is the idea that it's all continuous, no matter what, and all things happen. So the worst of the worst, the best of the best, the plane of the plane, it's simultaneous. It's just, like I say, it's maddening to have all these scenarios play out before and after and during any and all moments. It just seems that that's the case. Somewhere in my life, I am absolutely, no, not absolutely, I am completely ignoring others' plights. And not just any others, because that's the point, right? There's no others, it's just me. So ultimately, I am ignoring myself to its doom. Not just doom, but its end. And not just its end, but its misery, its all the worst things that life has to offer, reality has to offer. I am doing that intentionally, without fault. It's like that's so if all things are happening simultaneously, that's the catch-all for things to happen that wouldn't be, wouldn't be appreciated, or wouldn't be. Goes back to the Bible, where Jesus and all the gurus or saviors of the day. Not all of them. I think there was one that was pretty brutal, but I take that back. There's a lot of people in history that are just. What happens is, from my understanding, is that I hate to put my grandfather in the middle of this. My step grandfather. He says we're neurotic. Like, our whole civilization, our whole existence is waking up from a catastrophe, which I mean, so I guess it's kind of that's why I get this this feeling when when things are out of bounds, I guess, in my yeah, so it's just a mess. Trying to make heads and tails. It's that is one thing in my favor, though, for sure, is that all the wrongs that happened during growing up, really just put me in the place to be able to find veganism, to be a vegan. Being that I'm waking up from a concussion, not just in my last existences, but also this one. Probably had more than one concussion. But yeah, I'm not alone, but I guess it's better to get it out on record than just to have it in my head. And I guess that's the thing about it all is that, like that there's a saying that says that if a tree falls in the forest, I guess it's something like, if no one hears a tree fall in the forest, does it fall? So you got all these things are happening simultaneously. But just because I don't hear or experience those things doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So you have 7 billion people on the planet, almost 8 billion of us, and we're all just trying to make the best of what we know in the moment. of getting into a place where I'm feeling like I'm in I did this when I was living with my grandparents. It gets to where all you hear is your own thoughts, and you wonder because of how trying to get an idea across, you know, of what I'm trying to get an idea across. So when you're trying to express yourself to another, and the other is not able to be able to understand or be able to relate, or being able to relate is maddening. It is as if they are. They call it ghosting or gas. There's another word for it. Gaslighting. So they treat you as if. I guess I do it without even knowing, and they do it as well without knowing. But I don't know. I guess that's how that works. And it's just having to experience it and see it for what it is, and then having to better understand what it means is the issue. So, like I'm trying to get in my mind is the whole idea of so like I said, you're trying to relate an idea, a feeling, an expression. You're trying to express what's going on, or what matters, and then they don't relate it. They hear it, and then that's it. They don't they're not being open about it is the word, I guess. They're just they're almost as if it's like they are scouting. They have an objective, or what do you call it, a mission on their own. They're I always go back to the idea that we're all just insignificant in time. I mean, and time, if time is as old as what I'm being surrounded by, it seems like the few years that we do have on this planet, or wherever we are, or whatever it is, it's just minuscule. It doesn't really even matter. For total civilizations to be entirely annihilated, and then having absolutely minuscule amounts of proof of its existence is so it is a full moon. It is 55 degrees. It's cloud. There's a few little clouds in the sky, more like chemtrails. There's stars. That ammo's on. Grab my packages and hopefully skedoodle. Get back on bike before the end of the night. I got another 15 minutes. I can unload a little bit more. But yeah, so okay, so yeah. It's dead empty out here. Well, I am 15 minutes early, but it better be earlier than late. I feel like I missed out on $14 right there. Alright, so yeah. Crazy madness, that's all this is. Crazy madness. And that's, too, on top of all this is that having all these issues is a good thing, is actually the best of things. It means that there's a difference. To know that there's something else. To be absolutely, to be totally and absolutely in bliss is ignorance. So as soon as you break free from not knowing, that is true happiness. When you can actually find fault and being able to deal with it instead of just not even knowing, and then really have it wreck you later. So it's better late than never. So yes, bliss is great, but knowing's way better. I feel like my whole life has been about making more time, being able to enjoy the smaller things, like games and competition and just time together. I'm making all these investments, all these things to work out that way. Says I don't know, for the majority of my life I always had that inkling feeling that any and every little thing that I was going to be a part of was already doomed to begin with, and I had to escape that. I had to do my best not to have that occur. But I don't know, I want to find peace with that idea at the same time, because there's so much devastation all the time. And for me to say that I'm worthy of not experiencing those things it's just second nature, or it's just that's the thing about how you can be unnatural, but at the same time, that's just nature. To say those, to experience those feelings. What's worse than being called what you are? To be put in your place, to know exactly who it is what you're doing. Nothing worse than that, because then you're pretty much exposed, I guess. Yeah, it is 6:36. Got another 9 minutes. What am I thinking? Something to think about. I can't remember what it was I was going to say. Oh yeah, this is reminding me of that damn movie again. Her. You know, one split second you're surrounded by all this glory, and you know it's heaven on earth, and then the next minute you're on hell. You're in hell on earth, and I think that's the maddening thing of it, is just everything just so connected and groovy, and things make sense, and then the next breath is just devastation and turmoil and angst and all these words. Like, who comes up with these words? How do words even exist? Like what made us start speaking language? And the birds whistle and chirp, and the monkeys, they grunt and gibber. I guess it's just a form of gibber. Like, we're all gibbering. It's like the Tower of Babel. We're all just babbling. Trying to find a connection, trying to make it all make sense. Make the world a better place. This tent is hilarious. There's two fans that look like eyes, and then there's a little strap right in the middle on the bottom, and it looks like a little mouth. And the loading dock is in the back, so the trucks have to back in to the very back of it. So the fans and the little strap in the middle on the bottom looks like a mouth. So it kind of, and then the doors on top of that look like cheeks, like rosy cheeks or something. So it looks like he's getting penetrated, and he's making a face like, ooh. Surprise. That's funny. Oh man, he's even got a little dimple too. He's a one dimple like me. I think I only have one dimple. If I even have it anymore. I don't even know if I have a dimple anymore. That's hilarious. It's like he's getting it on. I wonder if I'm the only one that sees that. If anybody else, we have a map, right? It's the United States of North. It's the North America, kind of North America, and they separated all the states, right? When they did the territory, I don't remember what they called it, but we settled North America. And so they had a sense of humor, or they had some kind of forethought other than just, I don't know, it's just weird how they worked it out. But for me, it looks like there's a dang picture in there. They put a picture in the States to make it, appealing. Because kids, as a kid, when I saw that, I was like, there's something in there. It's not just states. It's not just randomness in there. There's actually a picture to this. There's actually some kind of event happening there. And I try to explain it to everybody. There's some of us that get it, but for some reason I think people get off on the fact that they can say, no, I don't get it, even though, because I see it, that means of course they see it. And me even asking them is, why are you even putting me in this situation to have to tell you that I see it? Of course I see it. And I'm like, it's just cool. I mean, I can't believe they did that. Why can't you not say that you? Why can't you say that you see it? What's the big deal? What's so bad about saying you can see something there when it's obviously there? So I guess that's their problem. They don't. I guess that's my problem too. I don't like the total obvious in some things, I guess, and that's just one of their pet peeves. Oh boy. Yep, the old what do you call it? Overcast is pulling in. Old chemtrail. I think they do instead of them doing all the chemtrailing straight overhead like they were before. They still do it a little bit. I still see them every once in a while, but they're actually doing it now away from they're doing it away from everybody, like out in the country somewhere, and then letting the weather pull it in. So now you got this big ass overcast cloud pulling in, covering up the sky. It's crazy. Cannot believe I've been sitting here talking for 40 minutes. Oh man. Well, I'm cashing out.